Welcome to another morning skate edition of the Inside Edge. I'm Bob McElligott, rejoined by Jody Shelley, who's back with me today as the Tampa Bay Lightning has come to Nationwide Arena to play for the second time this year against the Blue Jackets. Jody, the last time these two teams played, it was a 1-0 win for the Blue Jackets. It was a combined shutout because Curtis McElhinney had to take over for Sergei Bobrowski. That's the day that Sergei got hurt. Well, here we are about 5-6 weeks later, and Sergei's going to be back between the pipes against his team again tonight.
Yeah, and you know what? That 1-0 victory you speak of, to me, that was the real turning point for this season so far. This team was in that win-loss kind of rhythm. The Blue Jackets, they turned the page on November, and since that game against the Tampa Bay Lightning, they're 11-5-3. They've really done wonderful things. And let me tell you, and I told you, we talked about this the day after for the next game, and it was, the tone was, it's hard to win 1-0 in the NHL. The Blue Jackets did it. They kind of found their way to win a game in that fashion, and it's helped them to this point. Yeah, there's been some bad losses in between. Yeah, there's been some lessons. But I think from that point till now, you've seen a different team. And now you've added things in the last week or two that are really starting to show their heads too. One of them is Nathan Horton. The other thing is Sergei Bobrowski. He held the fort here the other night in a shutout victory, in a big win before going on the road to Winnipeg, where McElhinney went in net. So you've got a real good team presence when your tandem goes in and wins and plays well. Sergei stole the game, I thought. He played that well. McElhinney went in and held the fort, which I thought was great in a 6-3 victory. You got Letestu getting 2 goals. You got Boone Jenner getting 2 goals. Players that do a lot of work every single night. Letestu unheralded work that is almost like an unsung hero out there in the things he does in the face-off circles, along the walls, defensively, offensively. And then Boone Jenner just tries to work every shift. He's a young kid trying to find his way. Good to see those guys getting rewarded. So, yeah, coming off some good things. But like you said, the Tampa Bay Lightning is a team that is hot, red hot, without Steven Stamkos. When he went down, this team kind of was off kilter a little bit. But listen, they're hot. They dominated the game the other day in Philadelphia, 6-3 victory. You can see them and hear them out here on the ice right now. They've got some swagger, and they got some guys that work hard. And the guy who runs this ship is Marty St. Louis. And you talk about a guy who's had an uphill battle his whole career. Really had a tough time getting into the league. Since then, he's played, I don't know how many games, almost 1,000 games, maybe over 1,000 games. He's won the Stanley Cup. He's won trophy after trophy. And then recently he gets the snub from Team Canada Olympic Team. So as if he needed any more motivation, you've got a guy who's a leader and well respected among the league, and definitely by his teammates out here at the Tampa Bay Lightning.
All right, let's go into the goaltending department for a minute here, because both teams have some issues there that I want to talk about. Let's start with the Blue Jackets. For Sergei Bobrowski, you mentioned how he stole the game against the Lightning last time. He really stole the game against Carolina the other night. That was 3-0, not 1-0, but he was superb in that game. Got the night off Saturday. Curtis McElhinney comes in there, picks up a win. Now, it would sound crazy to say, does a Vezina Trophy winner feel as though he's being pushed by a guy that has spent the bulk of his career in the American Hockey League? But in some ways, that's happening right now, because Curtis McElhinney went in for 4 or 5 weeks and got to be the starter, and he performed very well. He comes in the other night, he plays well. It's a competition between these two guys. They're both trying to get ice time, and as you've talked about a million times, I know, that is a great thing.
Yeah, Bob, it doesn't matter where you are in life or where part of the mountain you're on. When you're at the top of the mountain, you know what the hardest thing to do is stay there. And Sergei Bobrowski ended last season on top of the mountain. And he comes into this season, yeah, he's not quite there. He knows it. Everybody knows it. But here's what. Curtis McElhinney came in and rocked the boat a bit, so to speak, for Sergei Bobrowski. And who's benefiting from that? The Columbus Blue Jackets. Since he's been injured and out and had to sit in the stands and watch games and listen to you and me on the radio, he's had to come back and be that much better, and he is motivated. He's always motivated. But everyone needs that new kid on the block, or that little push from something, especially in the 82-game schedule. And Sergei's got it, and I'll tell you what, he looks sharp and confident.
Now let's talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning goaltending situation. Ben Bishop has been out because of a wrist injury. He could be activated tonight. He could very well play in this game tonight. Now, his record, 22-5-3, goals against of 1.86. Don't you think if he's healthy, they're going to put him back in there tonight? I'll bet you they do, because Anders Lindback, he's a good goalie too, but 5.9-1, 3.17 are his numbers. I guarantee you, if Ben Bishop's able and I know he'd be willing, but if he's able to go tonight, I would expect that you have a great chance to see him.
Well, and they have the luxury of not having to, because Lindback played very, very well the other afternoon, Saturday afternoon in Philadelphia. This is a team that has confidence all the way around. Their defense is an underrated D in my mind. Matt Carl's the guy they picked up from Philadelphia a couple off seasons ago. They have some guys that are just Eric Brewer. He's a solid guy. Sammy Sello might be out. This Gudas kid, he's coming out of nowhere and played a real shutdown role for them. And then Hedman is a big draft pick, who's I look at his numbers. He's got 8 goals, 16 assists, and +4. Not many penalty minutes. He should have maybe a few more of those, being that size. But he's a guy that's steady back there. So when you have that, you have a luxury, and especially when you have a goaltending duo and one that's coming off a good victory.
Yeah, the guy with the penalty minutes on the back end is Radko Gudas, who you talked about. And he's a guy that last year spent time in the American Hockey League. He was injured during the Calder Cup final last year and couldn't play until the last game of that series. He was injured the last time these two teams played together. So it'll be interesting to see him tonight, because when you watch the highlights every night, when there's a big hit being laid out by the Tampa Bay Lightning, more times than not, it's him.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, that's what they have. They have a guy that they kind of discovered, and he's a guy that plays a role and does definitely ruffle feathers from time to time. I've actually seen him drop the gloves.
Well, now I'm taking a look here, and I'm trying to figure out, goalie just went off the ice, and it may have been Lindback that just went off the ice. So, because I think the goaltender switch ends. So, as you said, that's a luxury. They don't necessarily have to play Ben Bishop, even if they do activate him here this evening. So, Steven Stamkos is on the ice, Jody. He's got the red sweater on out there. That's a good thing. He won't play tonight. When you're playing against this team, you want to see him play because he's a great player, but you don't want to see him play because he's a great player in the same right. So, I'm sure we'll see him in April when the Blue Jackets travel down to Tampa. But this guy... What can you say about this guy and just how well he plays the game?
Well, he's got a Canadian red jersey on, I noticed this morning, Bob. And that probably means don't hit me. You know, I saw him on the bike as we were walking in, and I had a brief conversation with him. I said, how you doing? You know, you're getting in shape. He said, yeah, it's hard. And I said, yeah, I know it is. And he said everything feels good. He said he has a tough time on that leg when he's stopping and starting or doing, some of the one-legged stuff, which you would expect. Probably a month out of a broken leg. But he's out there right now taking face-offs. He's a guy that I saw him snapping the puck out there on the goalies. He's a valuable guy to this team, and everyone knows he's got that one-time shot. It's a right-handed shot. He's usually off to the goalie's right side, and he's a guy that is valuable and an all-star in the league. So, yeah, tonight we don't need to see him, but we wish him all the best.
Yeah, you want to see him in February. You want to see him play for Team Canada, right?
No question, no question.
All right, I figured that. Tonight's game getting underway at 7 o'clock here at Nationwide Arena. Jody is going to be between the benches on Fox Sports Ohio. I'll be on the Blue Jackets radio network. So whichever venue you decide to utilize tonight, you can catch one of us somewhere. That'll do it for this morning's morning skate edition of the Inside Edge. And, oh, by the way, since we don't play until Friday, the Inside Edge radio show will return on Wednesday night, 7 o'clock on our flagship station, 97.1 The Fan. Don't forget about that. For Jody, Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott, and this is the Inside Edge.